Hello friends, and welcome everybody to another video from my series Quick Thoughts On, in which I ramble a bit about a story from the wonderful Star Trek franchise. 30 years ago, a new episode of Star Trek The Next Generation was aired for the very first time, titled Justice. And these are my honest opinions about it. There are many people who say that the first season, or first two seasons of Star Trek The Next Generation sucked. I don't agree because I like a lot of the episodes from both of the seasons, but then I get to an episode like Justice, and I absolutely suddenly understand why so many people hate it. You know, there are many different types of bad episodes. Some episodes are so bad, they're really bad. Some episodes are so bad, they're really funny. Some episodes are so bad, they're actually good. And some episodes are so bad, they make you angry and wanting to punch a puppy. Justice is unfortunately the last type of bad. The Enterprise is a scientific ship, but so far we haven't seen her doing that much scientific research. In many of the episodes, the Enterprise is basically a futuristic taxi, just like in this episode. They have just now ended a mission where they delivered colonists to a deserted planet, and for some reason that was so exhausting that they need a vacation. Thankfully, they are so close to a new planet, which is basically a paradise. They even call it like that, so let me get one thing straight. These people are a pre-warp civilization, and the Enterprise crew went there, told them that they are space people, and that they want to fuck them. Literally. They want to go to have sex with these people. What about the Prime Directive? You know, the directive which prohibits Starfleet personnel to interfere with the natural development of a pre-warp civilization. Not only they want to go to the planet absolutely openly, and they even want to have sex with the natives. How can you influence their civilization more than bringing alien DNA? So we just started and the plot makes no sense. Isn't it great? The funny thing is that later in this episode, Picard does everything to prevent disobeying the Prime Directive, even if they have intentionally broken it in the beginning of the episode. And can we talk about the casting for a minute? I hate sounding like some kind of a SJW, but why are all of them simply white people? No, don't get me wrong, I have absolutely nothing against the fact that all of them are white. I am white myself, or mostly white, depending on how we want to count it. There is something different I don't like. A few episodes ago we had a planet of brutal savages, and they were all played by black people. Now we have a planet of beautiful, sexy people, and they are all played by white people. Again, I hate myself for sounding a bit too social justice-y, but it almost feels like the casting director had some hidden agenda. No, I'm not accusing anybody, I just think that some of the choices done in these first episodes were not really that great. Anyway, back to the plot. Yes, I have to. They beam down to the planet and they take Wesley with them, because if you want to have an orgy, you should always take the teenager with you. The wonderful woman welcomes them in a very friendly way, but before this can get creepy, she introduces Wes to some half-naked teenagers. That's not creepy at all, that's charming, I guess. Now I forgot to tell you one very important thing. Tasha Yar was a part of the original OA mission to study the laws and to find out if it's safe for them to make a vacation there. But now she finds out that they have one pretty bad law. Actually, they have just one law. They choose a random location for a kind of a no-go zone, and if you go there, you will get immediately killed. Yes, now they tell it to the security officer who was on the planet previously specifically to check the laws. All of the landing party members are running to find Wesley, but they come too late. He plays with his balls in front of the other teenagers or something like that, and he jumps directly to the forbidden zone. The other teenagers try to hide him, but the planet cops, judges, are already there wanting to kill Wesley. But of course, the other Enterprise people come there and aim their phasers at the police officers. Great, so they even start a diplomatic interplanetary conflict. Are those professionals not great in behaving in compliance with the Prime Directive? But at least they allow the cops to arrest Wesley and contact Picard. Meanwhile, Picard has a different problem on the Enterprise. There is a strange, semi-transparent thing floating above the planet. When they try to contact it, it shoots a blue ball on the bridge, which tries to communicate. What is the fascination of this episode with balls? Anyway, the ball joins Data and communicates with him directly. When Data wakes up at the sickbay, he starts to explain that that's actually more than one creature, and that they are actually the people's god. Yes, Roddenberry's favorite plot is back. It was also used previously in the animated series episode BAM. For some reason he liked to create all these god-like creatures, however this god looks more like a space station. When Picard gets informed about Wesley, the rest of the episode is about him trying to find out how to get Wesley out of the prison without breaking the Prime Directive, which they did break already. And he has a second mission to find out what the space station looking thing is. He beams the hot woman to the Enterprise and shows her the thing, but when she falls on her knees in shock because she indeed thinks that this is their god, they beam her quickly down. So what about Wesley? What will the great plan be with which they rescue him? Well, Picard talks. And talks. And talks. And then he decides to basically kidnap him. But they can't beam out, the god doesn't allow it. So what does Picard do? He talks. And the god, without any good reason, lets them leave. So let's summarize what happened in this episode. The Enterprise crew broke the Prime Directive by going to a pre-warp civilization planet, then Wesley breaks their law and they rescue him from prison. So our heroes broke the Federation laws and the Edo laws and left without getting punished. Our heroes, everybody! Yay! The concept of this story is great. We have a planet with a stupid law. This is a perfect setup for a social commentary about some stupid laws which many countries had in the time and some of them still have. Hell, we even get more stupid laws every year. I mean, in many countries you can go to jail because of saying words. So this concept could work, but the finished script doesn't. You can clearly feel that this script suffers from Gene Roddenberry's interfering. He was usually the one who wanted to get paid by watching sexy women, plus the god subplot is absolutely his thing. The dialogue in this episode is just horrible. There are so many sexual innuendos, and I have no clue if they were intentional or not. The only thing I know was that when I have seen this episode for the first time, I was a kid and I was watching it with my mother, and I was so ashamed. This episode made me feel unclean. Don't get me wrong, I love watching beautiful women, but not like this, and the story is so stupid. This is definitely not an episode I would want to watch anytime soon again. Well, what about some numerical ratings? On my scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is absolute garbage, 5 is average, and 10 is a masterpiece, I would give this episode 1 out of 10. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's pretty close. The only thing I like about this episode are the scenes with the beautiful semi-nude women, and that's not a good reason to want to watch an episode. The concept itself is very interesting, but the episode is just no. A huge no. And I'm glad I won't have to watch this episode for the next couple of years again. But as always, those were just my opinions. Feel free to write your opinions down in the comment section. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button, and of course feel free to watch any of the previous videos on my channel. Right now I'm doing videos about different episodes from Star Trek The Next Generation, and Star Trek Discovery. There will be a video about the next episode from classic Star Trek called Metamorphosis, and next week there will be videos about the last episode of Star Trek Discovery before the winter break, the next episode of Star Trek The Next Generation called The Battle, and the next episode of Star Trek called Journey to Babel. So don't forget to check this channel next week too. Until then, thanks a lot for watching, and see you soon. Bye.